Labadiena! So I'm starting the video with a simple shop maintenance work. It's just my planer blades got dull, so it was time to sharpen them. This machine is at least 40 years old, so the shaft is old school with straight knives, so replacement takes some time. Since I don't open the hood very often, so I thought it was a perfect time to clean all the resins and all the dusts build up in the machine. Here you can see me cleaning this in-feed roller. This roller is obviously old and full of black, so to prevent it from slipping and burning the wood, it's really critical to clean those slots. I also removed blade holders to clean them up, and after I examined the bolts, I think they have been replaced at some point because they have a flat head, and as far as I know, these supposed to be mushroom head bolts to simply decrease any unnecessary friction in between the bolt head and shaft slot wall, if you will, when you tightening the bolts, if that makes any sense. Anyhow, this fix was really quick and simple, and it doesn't have to be very spherical, it just has to have some taper. And here I brought newly sharpened blades, and the rest is just putting everything together. Of course, knife adjustment can be really frustrating process, but I borrowed these magnetic height adjustment things. I'm not sure how they are called, but they simply hold the knife at the right height, and all is left to do to tighten the bolts. And to double check, I just took a Sharpie and put a thin line on each blade edge, fired up the machine, ran a few boards, and checked which marker line was mostly removed, and readjusted the blades accordingly. I bought a digital readout set quite a while ago for this machine, but I lost my willingness to install it. But that knife replacement brought back the desire to do that. So I've checked which place would be the best to put it, and I found that my table adjustment is ran on 3 lead screws, which don't really turn, only the chain turns, and these are moving up and down, so I thought it's the perfect spot. So originally DRO came with mounting brackets, so I simply used those and a few self-tapping screws and fixed it to the frame. All is left to do to precisely adjust it to be absolutely parallel to the lead screw. And for moving the DRO up and down, I found this pipe clamp bracket, whatever you call it, and it was just the perfect size, and it had a screw to mount to the wall, which I used as a pin to move the actual indicator. I'm not sure if it's very visible, but it was a really small gap in between that lead screw and one of the bars, so I ended up cutting one of the side of this pipe clamp and welding it back together, leaving only one screw to tighten it. But it worked out really well. Here you can see the weld. Anyhow, I took some sheet metal and I made this test piece just to test if everything passes and nothing interferes. and then I removed it and used it as a template to make a stiffer one. And if anyone by some coincidence doesn't have this masking tape trick in their sleeve, so please put it in right now. Okay, I will leave you with some music because I don't have much to explain about this process. So the bracket is done and it fits perfectly into place. One thing I would have done differently is when I had to minor adjust it for zero it out on the right number, I was lacking flexibility in adjustment, so I would have made this pin screw hole a bit larger to adjust it by half a millimeter or millimeter. Now I just had to undo this pipe clamp and adjust it through there. Originally this DRO came with 2 coin batteries, but I saw a bit of a problem there because I was planning to put this screen inside of the machine and I wouldn't have any quick access to the battery pack, so I just quickly extended the capacity with the free AAA battery pack. I just soldered it to the terminals, and I also left one of the coin battery there just so I would constantly have a power source even when I will be replacing the batteries, if that makes sense, because losing the power source means you have to readjust your zero once again, and I really don't want that. I inserted the wire into the tube to prevent it from rubbing against the metal. You know what? I need a sip of coffee. Oh, this part may need some explanation. So this is a simple bracket made out of aluminum square tube, nothing to explain about it, and I'm removing this plastic cover from the battery pack just to make some clearance in between the screen and the surface it will be mounted on. It will come clear in a moment. I use some tape just to insulate. And originally this set came with a plastic mounting bracket for the screen. So I hot glued it to the battery pack. And now these two units clicked together really nicely. And like I said before, I wanted a few millimeter gap in between the screen and the surface, so I wouldn't accidentally press any button, Plus I would be able to access the 0 button with the tiny Allen key. And I secured the aluminum bracket to this aluminum plate with tiny M3 screws. And my coffee needs to go out, so I will leave you with the music again. Yes! So as you can see, machine is live again, and I planed out piece and took caliper, checked its thickness and readjusted the DRO accordingly. And I always fascinated how much tools these kind of builds accumulate around the working area. Anyhow, I'm absolutely grateful for your time, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!